Chelsea are monitoring Anthony Gordon's, battling PSG and Liverpool for Tomás Araújo and chasing PSG wonderkid Axel Tape. Kuku's situation is spiraling. Matheus Cunha is Old Trafford bound and Real Madrid are targeting Enzo Fernández. Ladies and gentlemen, the search for a centre-back continues. After missing out on Dean Huijsen, who is heading to Real Madrid, Chelsea are now focusing on one of the brightest centre-backs in Portugal, Tomás Araújo. But they are not alone. Liverpool and PSG are watching closely. The battle for this Benfica talent is heating up fast. At 22 years old, Araújo has quietly developed into one of the most promising centre-backs in Liga Portugal. Standing at a 6'3" with composure, excellent passing range and ability to step into midfield under pressure, Araújo has drawn comparison to players like Antonio Rudiger or even a young Ruben Diaz, and this season with Benfica he has proved he's ready for the next step. With Huijsen officially off the table, Chelsea are actively looking to reinforce the backline. All they want is very specific: a young, technical, gifted centre-back who can thrive in Enzo Maresca's system, which is, by the way, extremely possession heavy. Tomás Araújo ticks a lot of boxes. He's a left-footed centre-back, something Chelsea currently lacks, with Romeo Lavia being the only natural option there. But crucially, Araújo is a ball-playing defender. According to FBref, he averaged 70 passes per 90 minutes with 90% accuracy. He's comfortable playing in a high line. He's composed when pressed and is a natural fit for a system that demands defenders to contribute to build-up. But Chelsea aren't alone. Liverpool are keeping close tabs too, with Ancelotti set to start the rebuild after winning the league. The Reds are assessing their defensive options, and Araújo is one of the big names being monitored closely. PSG are also involved. They have been scouting Portugal heavily over the past 12 months, and they are looking to build a younger and more sustainable squad like Bracola and Zaire Emery, and now potentially Araújo. But unlike PSG and Liverpool, Chelsea are in a unique position. They have shown more willingness to invest in young talent. Just look at their signings in the last two windows: Ugochukwu, Santos, Extova and more. Araújo could fit into the project. The question is, can Chelsea convince him that they are in the right step? Now let's look at Benfica. They are not in a rush to sell. And why would they? Araújo is under contract until 2028. But here's the thing: Benfica knows how to do business. They have sold Enzo Fernández, Joao Felix, Darwin Núñez, all for big fees. If Chelsea wants him, they have to pay. Reports suggest that Araújo has a release clause in the region of 60 million euros. But Benfica might negotiate less depending on the structure. Chelsea will need to be smart because the financial fair play is looming and they can't throw money around like before. And while the spotlight is firmly on Tomás Araújo, Chelsea are keeping an eye on another defensive gem, 17 years old PSG centre-back Axel Tape, and this one could be a real coup. According to Sportzone, Axel Tape is set to leave Paris Saint-Germain this summer as a free agent. Talks over a professional contract still, and now some of Europe's most ambitious clubs are circling, including Bournemouth, Tottenham and Chelsea. But here's the catch: Bayer Leverkusen are currently leading the race. Born in 2007, Axel Tape is part of the elite generation of French centre-backs coming through the PSG academy. He's powerful, composed on the ball, technically sharp, qualities that have already earned him comparison to Upamecano and Ibrahim Konate. He featured heavily for PSG on the 19 side this season and have thrived with the first team side under Luis Enrique. At 17, Tape have already showed the tools to grow into a modern, aggressive and a ball-playing centre-back. So why are Chelsea interested? Two reasons. First, long-term project potential. Chelsea's strategy over the past two seasons has been very clear. Stack the squad with elite young talent before their value explodes. Axel Disasi fits that mold perfectly, similar to what they tried with Kendrick Payas, Extova and Santos. Secondly, versatility. Tape is comfortable playing at a back three or a back four. He reads the game well, steps out of defensive line to intercept. And despite being a teenager, he shouldn't shy away from his physical duel. At 6'1", with a room to grow physically, he's tailor-made for Premier League football in 2 years' time. And now let's talk about the race. Bayer Leverkusen are leading the race right now. And despite Xabi Alonso announcing his departure at the end of the season, the project remains strong. Leverkusen have built a reputation for developing young players and giving them first team minutes. For Axel Tape, that kind of environment, even under new leadership, is incredibly attractive. Tottenham are also watching. Ange Postecoglou wants more youth in the squad, especially in defense. Bournemouth, meanwhile, are making serious moves in the young talent market after losing Dean Huijsen to Madrid. They are positioning themselves as a launch pad for elite development. But Chelsea, they have the infrastructure. They have the Koba machine. They have got the pathway, and the question is, can they convince Tape that he won't be another name on the academy shelf? And just when you thought Chelsea summer couldn't get any more unpredictable, here we go. Anthony Gordons. The same one who was booed at Stamford Bridge 2 years ago, and now he might be wearing blue. According to Greg Hope and MIS Douglas, both Chelsea and Arsenal are keeping a close eye on the Newcastle winger. The price tag around £18 million being floated, and while that's not cheap, Chelsea are seriously exploring this. First, direct, fast, fearless, and one of the few wingers in the Premier League who can actually beat a man 1v1 consistently. He presses relentlessly, he tracks back, and is built for a high-tempo system, exactly the kind of winger Enzo Maresca would love. Secondly, his versatility. He has been playing off the left for Newcastle, but he's also more than capable on the right, or even as a second striker, and that makes him a valuable fluid in the front line. From a Chelsea perspective, this isn't just about adding a winger, it's about raising the floor of the attack. Mykhailo Mudryk is currently serving a ban, and while Onimadueke have shown flashes, he is also far from a finished product. But it's not just about us. Arsenal in the picture too. They admire Gordon's intensity. With the question over Gabriel Martinelli's consistency, Mikel Arteta wants another left-sided option. The difference is Arsenal is looking to refine. We are still building. Gordon would walk into our 11, and Arsenal is probably a second choice. And Newcastle, they don't want to sell, but financial fair play is creeping up on them. If they want to spend big this summer, someone has to go. And Gordon's, despite being a fan favourite, might be the one. Now, 80 million is expensive. No one is denying that. But this is what the market looks like when you are buying Premier League proven players in their prime. He's 24, English, and under a long contract. Newcastle have all the leverage. If we want him, we need to pay. But the club knows that too. If there's confidence in Gordon's ceiling, and if Maresca signs off the profile, don't be surprised if we try to negotiate something structured. A fee with add-on, maybe a player in return. Fabrizio Romano reports both Chelsea and Arsenal has made contact to understand the total cost of Nico Williams' deal. And it's not cheap. £50 million release clause, but that's the beginning. Add-on taxes, salary demands, agent commission, be a deal not of 80 million when all said and done. But for club operating under FFP pressure, that's serious conversation. From Chelsea point of view, this is about explosiveness, depth, and long-term plan. With Mykhailo Mudryk suspended and Sterling out of favour, there's a need for a natural left winger who can stretch defence, beat a man, and deliver end product. Nico Williams is all that, and at just 21, he's nowhere near his ceiling. Enzo Maresca is building a system that relies with width and isolation, and Nico Williams fits perfectly. For Arsenal, it's about rotation and evaluation. Arteta knows that to push for the league again, he needs more wide area. Martinelli's form has dipped. Trossard isn't the long-term fix, and Nico offers directness, tactical security, and elite transition threat. His link-up with Yamal has been one of Spain's best weapons in the Euro build-up. Barcelona were once front-runners, but Mecca has now reported they have pulled out due to financial limitation. But here is where it gets right. Real Madrid are reportedly monitoring the situation. With Rodrygo future uncertain, Madrid sees Nico as a perfect homegrown addition. Spanish, young and electric, and compatible with what Xabi Alonso wants. If they move, it changes everything. And that's where Chelsea come back in. Because while we are tracking Nico, we are equally interested in Rodrygo. The Brazilian has been long admired by the Chelsea board. Versatile, proven in Champions League, and is still only 24. If Madrid chooses Nico as the future, Rodrygo can suddenly become gettable. And for Chelsea, that's a win-win situation. If we miss out on Nico, we pivot for Rodrygo If Madrid stays away, we push for Nico. And now moving on to departures, and it's no other person than Christopher Nkunku, a player who arrived with so much promises, and it looks like Bayern Munich are interested. According to Florian Wirtz, Bayern are still in contact with Nkunku's camp. Nothing is advanced right now, but the interest is real. And with clubs across Europe keeping an eye, this could escalate quickly. Vincent Kompany, who just arrived and has already delivered the Bundesliga title in his first season, and now he's looking to build on that with smart and surgical signing. Nkunku is on the list. They know him well. His Bundesliga numbers were world class, and Bayern Munich believe he could slot into their system immediately. And here is where it gets painful. This is Nkunku's second season at Chelsea, and the relationship is deteriorating. Bayern are monitoring, and other clubs are too. And why Chelsea haven't put him on the market? Every player has a price. If Bayern could offer 55 to 60 pounds, the club might list him. With financial fair play still rooming, the club needs to fund incoming deal. A high-valued asset with limited minutes could be sacrificed. According to BBC Sports, the Los Blancos are interested in Chelsea Enzo Fernández. But here's the catch. Chelsea will demand well over 127 million euros to start the conversation. Madrid are still reshaping their midfield after Toni Kroos retired last season. Modric is 39 and winding down. They have got powers and flair in Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, but what they don't have is a pure deep line orchestrator. Zubimendi is heading to Arsenal. The pivot Madrid were eyeing is off the board, and now all eye is turning to Enzo Fernández, a player Xabi Alonso reportedly admired deeply. Press resistant, two-footed, Enzo Fernández cost up to 127 million euros from Benfica. He's 24 years old, a World Cup winner and under contract until 2032. If Madrid want him, they have to blow off the roof of Stamford Bridge. More than 127 million. And that's before we talk bonuses, image rights and agent fee. And make no mistake, Chelsea have no intention of selling. Not this summer, not after investing 2 years into building around it. So let's shift the gear for a second. Because while Chelsea are cooking behind the scene, other clubs are making big moves too. Sky Sports are now reporting that Manchester United are set to activate Matheus Cunha 62.5 million euros release clause, and the move is expected to be sealed right after the final game. It's Ruben Amorim's first major signing. Let's be honest, it's needed badly. Manchester United are sitting 16th in the Premier League. Yes, you heard me right. 16th, but somehow they are still in the mix for Champions League qualification via the back door, and it's peak madness. And Amorim, who has been tasked with the impossible, rebuild the broken squad, clean up the mess, and turn it into a team again. He wants dynamic, hard-working forward who understand pressing system. And Cunha fits that mold. Not world class, but press resistant, energetic, and adaptable. He suits Ruben Amorim 3-4-3 structure perfectly. And this isn't a glamorous deal. It's a functional one. Cunha could drop in, link, press high, and most importantly, he's already Premier League ready and no adaptation period. And it also takes some pressure off Rasmus Højlund, who has been isolated all season. United need more runners, more aggression, more players who could stretch the pitch, and Cunha offers that exactly. With Ineos overseeing the recruitment, this is a different approach from United. No waiting around, no drawn out saga, just straight business. Trigger the release clause, terms being sorted out. So now let's talk about Florian Wirtz, one of the most completed playmaker in Europe right now. According to Times, Bayer Leverkusen has slapped 127 million euros price tag on the 21 years old, but with add-on agent fees and long-term salary and bonuses. Insider believes the deal could touch around 300 million euros when it's all said and done. Manchester City are out. They have withdrawn from the race, but Bayern Munich and Liverpool are circling. And now there is a new twist. Reports from Spain suggest that Xabi Alonso, who will take over as Real Madrid manager this summer, wants to bring Florian Wirtz with him to Bernabeu. Florian Wirtz was Alonso's golden boy, the star boy of the iconic 2023-2024 Bayer Leverkusen team, the one who went unbeaten and won the Bundesliga title 2 seasons ago. Alonso unlocked his potential, gave him freedom, let him become the focal point of the winning side. And now, as Alonso prepares for his dream job at Madrid, he's pushing behind the scene for Wirtz to be the part of the next Galactico generation. not just a target, a priority. Bayern Munich still obsessed. They know if Wirtz join Madrid now, they may never get him, and they are willing to match any price. Liverpool slots wants vertical and brains between the line. Wirtz is ideal, but pulling off a 300 million deal under FSG, it would take something extraordinary. And let's remember, Bayer Leverkusen have no intention of folding easily. Wirtz is still under contract, but they are back in Champions League football and they know his value. The message is clear. If you are serious, pay the full amount. Otherwise, don't even come. And now here, that's the video. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You go be.